Good morning, class of 2021. We have 28 days and counting before you walk across the field and earn that diploma. And we are all so proud of you. So, the purpose of this quick video this morning is just to address some of the last minute decisions and activities that, as a senior, you might be facing over the next 28 days. So many of you have decided that college is in your future to prepare for the next phase of your educational training for your chosen career, or maybe you're going to go to college and figure it out once you're there. That's fine too. So I want to go over a few quick college details with you. So many of you are in the process of making the final acceptance decision. For those of you who have applied to multiple colleges and are still hearing back from some of them about their release decisions, you may have some choices that you now have to make. If you have more than one decision, usually by May 1st, you have to commit and submit a deposit in order to hold your place at the college for either the summer or the fall enrollment, whichever you've decided. And so, if you're in a state of where now I've got multiple choices and I really don't know what to do, this is a really good time to just seriously get out a piece of paper, make that traditional pro and con list. Some of the things that need to go on your list is size of the university, the housing situation, proximity to home, clubs and activities. How do I feel about the culture on the campus? And then one of the most important driving decisions is, of course, what is the cost out of my pocket to attend this university? How well will that degree help me prepare to go straight into the workforce in case I have to start paying off student loans 6 months after I graduate? So all of those things need to be considered. And if you're still in that state of, I just don't know what the right decision is, if you can, try to go back to the college and do another college visit. Talk to more students, try to meet some additional professors. I feel like you'll get a sense of where you belong. And at the end of the day, you're not going to make a bad decision because regardless of which choice you make, it's going to be a good situation for you. So it's not like you're going to make the wrong one. It's just is what it is. So if you're in that situation, congratulations, but I know it can also be stressful as well. For some of you, you have been accepted to colleges, but maybe your top choice or your dream college has given you a waitlist decision. So, what that means is the college has determined that you are an excellent candidate for their college or university. They just didn't have enough seat space based on the amount of applications that they have received. So, generally, there are a certain percentage of students that, although they're accepted, they opt to choose other colleges to attend, which will release some of those seat spaces, but they won't know until after the May 1st commitment deadline. And then if there is enough seat space, they will offer that seat to you. And then at that point, you can make a determination if you want to attend. So the stressful thing about that process is if you do not let another college know that you intend to enroll there and give that deposit to that college to secure your spot, you're at risk for losing out, especially if the wait list does not come through for you. So, unfortunately, it is going to be a little bit of a financial investment for you. I do recommend that you find a university that has accepted you, that you could be very happy attending, at least maybe for a couple of years if you still want to transfer later on. Go ahead and submit your deposit and then go ahead and accept the waitlist decision and see what happens. And I know this can be extremely stressful. So if you want to come and talk through that process, I'm happy to do that with you. Please make sure that you are checking your email for your acceptance letter decision, which should also include information on how to set up your college email account. Generally, after that initial decision notice, they will only communicate with you through the college email. And there's a process on how to activate that college email, which includes setting up your college ID and password for your for the college's system, which is kind of think of it as like an infinite campus process. You'll have something comparable like that at your college. So again, make sure that you're setting all of that information up. If not, then you're missing out critical information on registration, meal plans, and housing. So let's kind of jump into that category next. If you are going to go to a college that's too far from home to live at home and commute, which means you live on campus, you'll have to have a place to stay. You'll need meal plans. You have to find a roommate possibly. And maybe some colleges also offer off-campus housing, which is a different situation. But if you're going to be living on campus, I want to show you kind of how to make some determinations on what meal plan is best for you. I'm going to use Georgia Southern as a quick example, but you can just simply Google the college you plan to attend along with the terms meal plan, and it will pop up a similar website. So in this case, we're going to jump down here to the 21-22 plans. It gives you several options. And then it gives you access to the dining halls, and many colleges have multiple dining halls. Dining dollars is where you get a certain allowance for this semester to purchase food like from on-campus Chick-fil-A or Domino's Pizza or what have you. And then, of course, if you have a guest, they can get a pass or they can just pay out of pocket. And so here are the prices per semester. So you want to just kind of think about, am I going to be going home on the weekends or am I going to be here 7 days a week? Do I have a little kitchen in my dorm suite? Or if I'm living off campus, maybe you only want a couple of meals per week to substitute for the ability to go to the grocery store yourself. So you just kind of have to look at this and make the decision on what's best for you. So let's jump back over here now and look at residence life. If you plan to live on campus, you have some choices to make about the hall that you want to live in and the type of dorm that you want to choose based on availability. So in this case, I'm going to use University of North Georgia Dahlonega campus as an example. So again, this is a housing rate per person per semester. So this will give you an idea of what all the halls look like, and you can kind of click on here and it will, usually they will have a webcam or a virtual tour of these residence halls. And you can see that some of them are suites, which means that you might have your own individual room, but you and a couple of other roommates might share a common little kitchenette or a bathroom or maybe even a little study area. And then there are traditional residence halls, which look more like traditional dorms in which there's a bunk style bed, maybe two to a room, and then you could possibly share one restroom per floor, which can be uncomfortable for some students, and some students don't mind. It just totally depends on what's important to you. So critical things to remember about housing. You cannot put this decision off. You cannot procrastinate this. Otherwise, if you wait really into the month of May, you're probably going to be stuck with whatever is available. So prioritize this decision if you have this one to make. Make sure that you have taken a tour if you can, or at least done the website tour to see which hall best suits you. And usually when you do your application, you have to maybe rank your choice of housing. So generally, I find that freshmen don't get their first choice always, but make sure you're ranking that as soon as possible to get priority. So let's go back here. And so if you're going to live on campus and you don't already have a roommate that you're listing on your application, you have to find a roommate. And so you don't really want one generally assigned to you. So it's good if you can have a little bit of control in that. So I found this great website and I put the link on the webpage, which I'll show in a minute, on how to find a college roommate. So this gives you some really good resources on how to select one. And then down here, there's actually a roommate finder searches here where you can do a profile and make sure you're honest on this. You know, you have to be a little flexible, but make sure you're really honest. So if, for example, if you are a person that really needs your sleep and you don't like to be interrupted, you don't want somebody that's super extroverted that's going to bring tons of guests in all hours of the night. That would probably not be a very compatible situation. Sometimes I found too that colleges have their own internal roommate search or roommate application service. So I would definitely take advantage of that as well. But there's all different resources here that can help you find a roommate that's going to be a good fit for you. So financial aid, oh, this is still huge. And I know this is something that a lot of students have kind of avoided because they just haven't done it before and it can be a little bit confusing. So I want to offer some assistance for you. FAFSA, this is the free application for federal student aid, and this determines eligibility for all federal financial aid programs. If you are applying for collegiate scholarships at your particular college and university, sometimes they require that you complete this in order to screen you out for other financial aid options. But the FAFSA is a process in which you will first create your FSA ID, and then your family or your parent or guardian that has filed you on their tax documents will also create an FSA ID for the family. So in case you have multiple siblings, you will all use the same family ID, but each sibling will actually have their own student ID. So this resource right here will actually give you a little overview if you have not done this part already and then it will give you some links directly to the FSAID site and also the application site. If you are struggling with this, please come and let me know, and I can give you some resources and try to help get you started for that. You do need to make sure that you have completed this prior to your date of graduation. You'll see some June deadlines for FAFSA, but most of the colleges that's going to be awarding financial aid require that you complete this prior to your date of graduation. So each college is different, so help pay attention to that. If we jump back over here, one quick thing I want to share with you as well is if you have chosen not to do the FAFSA, but you are going to be either HOPE eligible or Zell Miller eligible, and you're going to stay in the state of Georgia, you do have to fill out either the FAFSA or the the state aid application for financial aid, and this is called the GSFAPPS or the GFAPS. And so the GFAPS is a really quick, maybe a 2-minute filter that you will complete. Basically, what that does is sync your Infinite Campus information, and that has your transcript information on there, to the Georgia State Finance Commission, which approves your Hope or Zell Miller eligibility and then confirms that to your college's financial aid office. This must be done prior to May 21st. So if you haven't done that and you're Hope eligible, you can definitely go ahead and do this one. You do not have to do both applications. I want to point that out. It doesn't hurt anything if you do, but you do not have to. One or the other is required in order to sync your Hope or Zell Miller eligibility. So a new feature at with the Georgia Finance Commission is that you must upload your test score if you are Zell Miller eligible. Eligibility means you have earned a 3.7 GPA in your core classes according to the HOPE formula. You have earned either a 26 ACT or 1200 SAT minimum in one test sitting. And then what you're going to do is submit a copy of those test scores to the Georgia State Finance Commission. And the instructions are on this link, which I put on the website. And so this will show you how to send your score reports. If you're using College Board SAT, you can download your copy and submit. For ACT, you will have to have ACT send a copy of your official scores. So this is the information on how to do that. Please do that as soon as possible. I know some of you are still testing into April and possibly even May. You have to get those scores back prior to your date of graduation in order to be eligible for the Zell Miller or HOPE. So let me know if you have questions about that. Scholarships. Some of you are now at a place where you've made your college decision, so now you can focus on putting time into scholarships. Yes, there are still scholarships that have April, May, and summertime deadlines, but I would advise, if that's important to you, that you really pay attention to that. Here is the website that has tons of filters. These are great resources. You will complete a profile on many of them, and they will actually come back with specific scholarships that are still available that meet the criteria that you have put into your profile. So I definitely say take advantage of those. Let me know if you have questions about scholarships. For those of you who are still undecided about how to prepare for a career after graduation, and maybe you still haven't determined what is a good career fit for you, please do not stress. You are not alone, but it is time to make an appointment with me so we can sit down one-on-one and make a goal plan. Because once you have a plan, that stress is going to kind of just alleviate, which is going to make your life a higher quality. So let's do that. So one of the things that we'll do is review your U-Science results, and we'll really look and see what are some good options for you. We will look and see what education training level you need in order to be workforce ready, and then we will make a plan from there. There are still colleges that are accepting applications for fall. These are called revolving admissions decisions. Sometimes you can actually apply right up until the semester that courses start. Just know that you might be limited on housing situations. But we can still take a look at that and see what's available for you. Technical colleges are an amazing option where you can earn a certificate that takes about either 1 semester or 2 semesters, and it's concentrated into the technical trade area, and it's designed to get you right out into the workforce. A diploma gives you some additional training, so they take about 3 semesters to complete. And then the associate degree, which is sometimes it's referred to as a 2-year degree, it is a degree that is transferable to a 4-year college in which you want to earn a bachelor's, or it's designed to get you again straight out into that workforce. You can concentrate into a uh, technical trade area, such as business, welding, education. But you can also major in what's called interdisciplinary studies, which prioritizes the core classes that will transfer on to a university. So, employment opportunities, if you are in that state of mind where you're not sure you want to invest money going to get training, if you're not 100% sure what you want to do, maybe you want to get into the world of work to see what's out there while you clarify your choices. That is wonderful too. I've included some website searches that can help you find some jobs. You can search by location, you can search by job type. So here are some great options for you. And I've put a link over here just to kind of give you an idea of how these work. So on Snag a Job, you can actually create an account and it will filter jobs that are good for your experience level, or you can just sort of randomly search. I have included the Jefferson and the greater area around Jefferson, so you can see what's pulled up here. On the recently added jobs, you can just kind of scroll through here. And if you're interested in any of these jobs, for example, let's say maybe you've taken some computer science courses and you want to see what this is like. You click on that, it will give you the job description, qualifications. See, this one right here is asking for a college degree, but many of these jobs do not require one of those. But if you're interested in that, you can actually click the apply button. It will take you to the website, which gives you additional information, which will start that application and then interview process. So these websites are kind of fun to see what's available. It might give you some ideas on how to spend your time while you're deciding about a career to prepare for. So all of those are really good decisions. What's important is that it's unique for you and that you've made that decision for the right reason. So I want to touch base on how you are doing physically, emotionally, because this is a very emotional time moving into the last month of high school. You have accomplished so much over the last 4 years, and you're getting ready to embark into this new phase of your life. And no matter how exciting that is, change is inherently stressful. So sometimes, seniors, it's very common to feel like you have no control over what's happening at this point. You might feel unsupported and alone as you're making some of these big decisions. Please know that you are not. You have a wealth and a team of people at Jefferson that have invested in you, care about you, and are always willing to give you an ear if you just want to bounce some ideas off of any of us. So some students are like, well, I'm comparing myself to somebody who's going off to this great college and I'm still undecided. Please stop comparing your situation, because we all kind of find our plan at different emotional and intellectual times. Just like when you were a baby, none of us walked on the same day. Some walked at 9 months, some walked at a year and a half. It's all on what you're developmentally ready to do. So sometimes that gap year is important to help us find that decision. Sometimes we already know what we think we want to do, and so we're making decisions to pursue that. And once we get there, we might even flip the switch and change up a little bit. So it's important for us to be flexible. So don't feel like you're a failure or just because you haven't made the same plan as someone sitting next to you. It's about what's important for you, and that's what matters. But sometimes all of the stress can cause some of these symptoms. You might find that your sleep's disrupted. And when that happens, you can become a tall toddler and be irritable and avoid important responsibilities. So keep in mind that, especially if you're looking at Hope and Zell Miller eligibility, the grades that you were earning this last month seriously matter. So please give it all. Please attend every day. Avoiding school for whatever reason is never been a good idea. So please don't start that now with the senioritis. I know that's a trend sometimes, but it's never one that usually ends well. So some ways that you can kind of deal with that is just be present in the moment. Enjoy every day. Enjoy the time spent with your friends and your teachers. Be open to forming new connections. As you move into this new phase of life, you're going to meet all kinds of new people with different points of views, and that's great. I know it can be a little bit awkward at first, but it's going to be a great experience for you. Take care of your health. Get sleep. Make sure you're not going too long between meals or snacks, because when you fast like that, sometimes it can kind of really mess with your moods. So make sure that you're not using harmful coping mechanisms such as drugs or alcohol or toxic relationships to kind of deal with the stress that you're feeling. That might work short term, but long term, it just creates all kinds of problems that you're already aware. So don't procrastinate or withdraw from people. I know sometimes when we're overwhelmed, we just want to kind of dive under the covers and just do a Netflix marathons, and that's really common. But it's important to set small goals. If you're feeling overwhelmed, please reach out to us and we can kind of help you get back on track with those plans. And again, that goes back to getting support. You've got plenty of that because we're so excited. We're so proud of you. And we're just going to continue to be there for you this last month of school. So, the last thing I kind of want to show you is the website, and I'll send you a link in your school email. This is the Pride activity that all of the other grades are working on today. So if you are unsure about career goals or needing some ideas to do a job resume, your U-Science has a wealth of information. Here's the instructions on how to log on if it's been a minute since you've done that. And if you jump down here to the senior links, these are tabs that if you click on them, it will take you to the roommate finder. This is a reminder about your yearbook information and a really cool video that you might want to take a look at. Here's the FAFSA link, the GFAPS link, and a great article on graduation anxiety because I want you to understand it's very common, it's very normal, and it will give you some great suggestions on how to kind of process that. So here's some helpful links for you. And then if you want to go back and review this video, you click on that here. And then if you feel like you want a specific meeting for some support with any of the topics that I've mentioned in this video, you can click this Google Form activity sheet and we will get back with you as soon as we possibly can. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, we are so, so proud of you, and just take the time over the next 28 days to really enjoy all the accomplishments and your friends and your teachers. And again, congratulations, Dragons.